of view character when they're wrong about what other people are thinking and feeling. And I think that's where the great fun of third person unlimited comes, is when the point of view character, him or herself, does not actually know everything that the reader knows. Because the reader can see that they're misjudging. The reader can see what the point of view character is misjudging about everything else that's going on around them. The point of view character is telegraphing that to the reader, but he or she doesn't know it himself. And I think that is where the great pleasure of third person limited comes as a reader, because you're just privy to so much more information than the point of view character is. Does that make sense, Kat? Have I explained that right?
Yes, absolutely. It's the old unreliable narrator.
Yes, exactly. It is the unreliable narrator. Which is not that, it's easy to talk about and it's easy to see when it's happening, but it's not that easy to teach, right?
Yes.
And I think the greatest way to get at that is to really limit people's point of view, right? Like when you start limiting point of view, that's when you're able to write in that way.
Right. And it's not about creating twists and tricking the audience. Those are sort of cheap tricks that can be used with limited point of view. That, oh, the character doesn't know these things, and now we're going to reveal them at the very end and show you that the entire narrative was false.
Right.
That's certainly something you can do with limited point of view, but it's not the best use of it.
And also not the best use of it is trying to, so that's the other thing that I see in point of view, is that people, authors rail against point of view, especially horror writers for some reason. It seems like this is really common in the horror writer genre, where the point of view character withholds things from the reader. And that's also a no-no.
God, no.
Whatever the point of view character sees, thinks, or feels has to be available to the reader. That's an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
There maybe are things that the point of view character doesn't see or misses or fails to, bring up or whatever. But like, if you're purposely not bringing something up in the point of view character just to trick the reader into not knowing that he's the murderer, like, come on, you can't do that. Like that is like, readers get very upset about that stuff. So,
and rightly so. And I make no apology to being a big Stephen King fan. I don't think he's the greatest writer in the world, but he's a great popular writer. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But he has some point of view problems. He has always had point of view problems, and I can't read a Stephen King novel without getting smacked over the head with some of those point of view problems, and I always have to sort of shake my head and go, "Oh, Stephen, you scamp! You just can't help yourself, can ya?"
Right.
And one of his favorite little things to do is being in a very tight third person point of view, and then like at the end of a chapter or something, saying, what this character didn't know is that he'd be dead in an hour.
Right. Exactly.
It's so cheap. It's so unnecessary, and I just want to shake the little guy every time he does it. You can make that happen, right? You're like Stephen King's neighbor up there, right?
Yeah, he's my neighbor. Totally. I'll go shake him for you.
Thanks. That'd be great. Just don't hit him with a car again.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh, too soon.
Don't shake him too hard, right?
Don't shake him too hard.
It's held together by pins.
He's probably very fragile. So.
Okay, so that was our Toolbox rant for this episode.
Yes, it was. So Didlix asked, have you read or seen Ask Me Anything? I have not. I don't know